You're back with America Outdoors Radio, and this portion of the show is brought to you by Shiloh Inns and Suites, the hotel chain that offers affordable excellence and is pet-friendly, too. We are going to be talking about squirrels, of all things, cooking squirrels and hunting squirrels. And the man we're talking to about this with is Joe Wilson, the president of Squirrels Unlimited, and the man who puts together the World Champion Squirrel Cook-Off every year. Joe, welcome to the show.
Man, thanks for having me on today.
So, Joe, September 16th is the big day. The location, Bentonville, Arkansas, that's where the World Champion Squirrel Cook-Off is taking place. Tell me more about this event.
Hey, well, this year it's our 6th annual World Champion Squirrel Cook-Off. We're going to have this thing. It's free to the public. It's free to everybody from coast to coast to come and enjoy it. And I tell you what the people are going to enjoy. They're going to enjoy our limb chicken, our tree bacon, our tofu of the woods, this animal that most people just call squirrel.
All right, you've got me interested there. Tree bacon, I've never heard that phrase before, but I like it. You know, I guess I would first off ask, how does a squirrel taste? But I guess it all depends how you cook it. What are some of the winning recipes you've had in past years?
In past years, we've had dishes such as smoked squirrel sausage. We've had meatloaf. We've had squirrel sliders. We've had squirrel egg rolls. And, you know, those are the winning dishes, but there's plenty of dishes that come in there right next to them. Anything you can make with any other protein, you can make with squirrel. And so to answer your question on what the squirrel tastes like, it tastes exactly like squirrel. Squirrel is a meat that absorbs flavor. So if you're wanting to do Asian dishes, if you're wanting to do Italian dishes, it's going to absorb all those flavors you add to it. It's been a huge pleasure to see that sportsmen can take the smallest of game meat and turn it into the biggest of meals. And you know, we've fed tens of thousands of people over the last few years. If we can do this with squirrel, you can dang sure do it with your deer and everything else that gets harvested.
Well, I love the concept, Joe. So I got to ask you, what kind of squirrel are you eating? Because there's several species in North America.
Yeah, well, you know, that's the cool thing about our event is we tell our teams that you have to provide your own meat. And so these teams, if they're coming from Arizona, you know, they've got 7 species of squirrel in Arizona. But typically our squirrel that's served up the most is going to be your gray and your fox squirrel, your red squirrel. Those are the most common, and most chefs, that's what we call the people in the event, most chefs are going to use a gray squirrel over a red. We find that the red squirrel is typically a tougher meat. It's harder to process and clean down, although it's bigger and you're getting more bang for your buck. The gray squirrel just seems to make better table fare.
You know, folks, the things you learn on the show, both you as a listener and me as the host. We're talking to Joe Wilson. He's the president of Squirrels Unlimited. We're talking about the World Champion Squirrel Cook-Off. It's taking place in Bentonville, Arkansas on September 16th. Joe, where do your chefs get their squirrels? Do they shoot them while they're hunting? Do they trap them? How are they getting the table fare?
Well, 99% of the squirrels come from the tops of trees. That was my remark.
That's kind of a given.
When she asked if they were USDA, she said, where do you obtain your squirrels? And I said, we obtain them from the tops of trees. But, you know, our guys are going out and they're hunting them. And squirrel season in most parts of the country is one of the longest seasons that we have. This isn't prime time in with these hot days, but I tell you what, if you wake up early in the morning or hunt later in the evening, that's the most active time for all game, and it's possible to get you a limit of squirrel. Depending on where your listeners are listening at, you know, it may possibly be squirrel season right now. A lot of states open up in the end of October or the first part of September. We put our event off September 16th because it's at the beginning of hunting season. That's whenever your waterfowl, your dove hunting, your deer hunting starting in a lot of places. And we try to get people in early to see the advantages of squirrel hunting. I want kids to get back involved with small game. That used to be the stepping stone to hunters, was rabbit hunting, squirrel hunting, going dove hunting. And it's kind of died off in the last 15, 20 years.
Well, let's go ahead and talk about your organization, Squirrels Unlimited. And I've got to ask, does this group advocate for widespread hunting of squirrels? Does it advocate for, habitat and conservation? What's Squirrels Unlimited all about?
Man, everything you just mentioned, we really try to promote small game hunting. Like I told you, it's a true stepping stone to the outdoors. It's going to take a lot more time in the woods to fill your freezer, but you're really going to enjoy it. You're going to learn how to aim small, miss small by hunting small game. Conservation, we try to promote people, landowners, to leave all those old hardwoods in their woods. So many people cut down hardwoods and come back and plant pines, and it's really best if we keep the hardwoods in the forest just for all wildlife. The squirrel, you can blame the squirrel for planting dang near every tree in the woods. That's what they do. They collect nuts, seeds, they dig holes, they plant them. If they don't find them, a tree grows up. So we owe a lot to the squirrel, every sportsman does. And it's also part of why they taste so good. I mean, these things, a lot of people are looking for 100% organic, all natural, cage-free, none of this and that and the other thing, and that's what a squirrel is. Hey, and it also comes in a biodegradable package. That fur and hair that's on there, that stuff will go away in time quicker than a plastic sack. So the squirrel is God's gift to us, and Squirrels Unlimited promote the fact that we enjoy hunting squirrels. Squirrels is a good way to teach our youth or teach the novice. And so that's what Squirrels Unlimited is all about.
Joe, if you don't wear the crown already as ambassador for squirrel hunting around the world, let me bestow it upon you now. That was good stuff there. How popular is squirrel hunting in the U.S. these days? Any idea how many people participate in the sport?
Yeah, I tell you what, it's definitely something that's different state to state. And out west, you have your lowest population of squirrel hunters. When you get to the south, it's a rite of passage. And there's plenty of squirrel camps, groups of people getting together and celebrating. There's places in Louisiana to where school is actually closed on opening day of squirrel season because they don't have enough teachers and they don't have enough kids on that day. When you get up to the northeast, Pennsylvania and areas up there, huge into squirrel hunting. And same with Michigan and Ohio. So it's something that really isn't popularized by marketing. We don't sell specialty items for squirrel hunters. You can, as you know, by walking out in the city park, you'll see squirrels. You don't have to sneak up on them. So it's something that not a lot of money is made off of this sport, which is good for the hunter.
Absolutely.
Anybody can do it with a .22 or a shotgun and just simple clothing.
You're absolutely right, Joe. We are running out of time, but in about 30 seconds, let's give out the websites people need to know about for Squirrels Unlimited and for the World Champion Squirrel Cook-Off.
Okay, hey, look, if you're interested in cooking and becoming a world champion yourself, go to squirrelcookoff.com. If you want to know anything about squirrel hunting, you can go to squirrelsunlimited.com and learn about it there. And you can also find us on Facebook at Squirrel Cook-Off. But this is something that everybody could do if you're a master chef or a camp cook. Come to Bentonville September 16th and become a world champion.
There you go. That's Joe Wilson, folks. The website's, again, squirrelsunlimited.com and squirrelcookoff.com. Both worth the visit. This sounds like a lot of fun. Wish I could be there myself, but I hope some of you listening today will make it a point to be in Bentonville, Arkansas on September 16th and eat some good tasting squirrel. Joe, thanks for sharing this with us on America Outdoors Radio.
Anytime, man.